It happens every single day. A school bus stops to let kids on and off. Suddenly, a car comes flying by when it should have stopped. Tonight in my ABC 13 investigation, I discovered our communities have a way to keep children safe and go after those drivers, but they don't. I wanted to know why. This is video of a Lynchburg school bus. It's the first time the public has seen it. Watch and listen.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, just rear-ended me and hit the light pole.
The bus stopped to let children on. For whatever reason, the driver never stopped. He later died from his injuries. Fortunately, no children were hurt.
All right, I need a rescue squad, quick.
But it's something every parent with a child riding a bus fears.
The speed limit here is 35. We have a lot of people who go 45 to 50.
We have both chased people down and gotten license plate numbers.
School bus drivers see lawbreakers all the time.
You know, I've had motorists run my lights before. Yeah, but not.
What do you do?
I mean, it's really nothing you can do. You blow your horn and kind of to alert them and the child.
My investigation discovered that since 2012, Lynchburg police ticketed 69 drivers for failing to stop for school buses.
It's a very large yellow bus, usually it says school bus and has red lights on it. When the red lights come on, just stop. It's not that hard.
While cops do bust people, it's nearly impossible for them to catch everyone. That's where these come in.
It's called the stop arm camera.
All Lynchburg City school buses have them. I requested and received dozens of video clips from a variety of buses showing lawbreakers. The video shows driver after driver going by school buses, letting kids on and off.
Traveling on a school bus is still the safest way to transport students to and from school.
I also spent 3 days on the streets of Lynchburg. Each day I watched people, including buses, passing a stop school bus with its flashing lights on and stop arm out.
When vehicles pass like that, they run into the danger of hitting one of our students. So we take that very seriously.
Other districts use cameras too. However, I checked and couldn't find any locally that take advantage of a state law that was revised last year that can help them crack down on school bus runners. The law gives communities the ability to create an ordinance allowing school systems to send the owner of the car captured on camera breaking the law a ticket in the mail. Do you guys currently do that?
No, the city of Lynchburg has not adopted that code yet.
So I went to city leaders to ask them why.
Here's my response to that. As a community, it might be something that we need to look at.
So what is it going to take? Is it going to take a child being seriously hurt or possibly killed before someone says, boy, we should have done this?
I certainly hope not.
Lynchburg has no immediate plans to create a new law. But while communities wait, children are at risk. Take a close look at the upper left-hand part of your screen.
Oh my God. Base to 63, I'm cutting in because a little girl just got hit by a vehicle.
That happened in October in Danville. It's video from Danville City Schools. The child survived. Everyone talks about keeping kids safe, and communities have a law to help keep them safer, but only if leaders choose to use it.
We have a couple of the drivers have t-shirts and sweatshirts that say it's big, it's yellow, it's red, lights flashing. What don't you see?
Creating a law that allows school districts to cite drivers is really only the first step. The school districts I spoke with, including Roanoke and Danville, told me they haven't figured out the best way to put a system into place to mail those tickets. And some school districts need to outfit all their buses with cameras. They say it would take extra bodies from police departments or another agency, and the costs really are not known. As far as punishment, school bus runners face a $250 fine or greater and have 6 points added to their driving records. You would never knowingly put your child in harm's way, and no school system would send its teachers, staff, and students into buildings they knew were unhealthy. So why don't Virginia schools test for radon, a gas that can lead to lung cancer more frequently? My investigation uncovered a potential flaw in the law when it comes to testing schools. Paula Scalina never dreamed she'd be in a fight for her life, let alone wonder whether radon gas had something to do with it.
When I found out I had lung cancer, one of the first things we did was test our house, and it tested below the threshold, so I knew it wasn't my house.
If not her house, where? Smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer. Radon is second. Scalina never smoked. She teaches at Manellison Middle School in Amherst County. She's been there nearly 30 years, but there's no evidence Scalina's lung cancer is linked to radon gas.
That's all you have to do, test a building one time, which is scary because things could change in the school.
She's talking about the law in Virginia. My investigation uncovered that schools are required to test for radon, but there's a catch. They only have to do it once. In Amherst County, that happened back in the 90s. Because of Paula Scalina, they're doing a new round of testing. I asked for and received the results from the testing back in the 90s and the most recent tests on the schools in Amherst, including Manellison Middle, Scalina School. They show radon levels below the Environmental Protection Agency's guidelines for taking corrective action. Radon is measured in picocuries per liter. The EPA recommends schools reduce radon when levels go above 4 picocuries.
We've tried to be very, very responsive.
Dr. Stephen Nichols is superintendent of schools in Amherst.
One of my responsibilities as superintendent is to be sure that staff and students, especially students, have a safe environment.
But my investigation didn't just center around Amherst. I received radon test results for schools in Bedford, Danville, Campbell, Lynchburg, and Roanoke.
Can't see it, can't taste it, can't smell it. The only way you know it's there is to do the test.
Dale Phelps is a radon expert with nearly 30 years under his belt. He's a member of the National Radon Safety Board and National Radon Proficiency Program.
This is the most accurate test there is.
Phelps believes when it comes to radon kids in schools, more testing is the way to go.
Children are more susceptible to radon than adults. Most people don't realize that. Children's cells are changing, they're developing faster, their respiratory rate is higher.
I went to the state capitol to ask the experts at the Virginia Health Department if testing schools for radon once is good enough.
I think we're doing about the best we can with the law as it stands right now.
I would certainly be willing to discuss with legislators the benefits of increased testing.
The EPA estimates that more than 70,000 schoolrooms in use today have elevated radon levels.
Kids are our most precious resource.
State Delegate Ben Klein knows the law on radon in schools. He says if it's needed and people demand it, he'd look at helping to change it.
We need to make sure that our schools are safe, make sure that our kids are safe when they're in the schools, and it's something we need to be aware of.
Paula Scalina is very aware. Even though her illness can't be traced to radon exposure at school, she's fighting her lung cancer with every breath.
I love my school. I love the teachers. I love the students.
Eye-opening. Testing for radon in schools can get expensive. We're talking thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. Amherst County, for instance, wants to set aside about $75,000 every 5 years to test all its schools. To see the radon results for your child's school, head to our ABC 13 News app or WSET.com. Then join me tonight at 6:45 for a Facebook Live discussion about radon gas with our expert.